Hi, and welcome to part 17 of my Python Programming for Beginners tutorial series. In this video, we're going to be going over modules. So we're going to be going over how to import modules that already exist, how to download modules for Python, and also how to create our own modules and then import them and use them as well. So let's go ahead and let's get started here. Um, when you have Python installed, you actually already have one module, I believe. I don't know if there's any other ones that come with the base install of Python, but I know that the math module does come installed with Python. So if we just take a look at the math one real quick, and then we're going to take a look at pygame, as that's another really popular module with Python. And I'm going to show you guys how to install it as well. So here we just have our VS Code open, and we're just going to do import math. And then what we can do is we can do math dot, and then we have all these math functions coming from the math module. Now, there are other ways. So let's just do a simple function here. So let's just do ceiling of 5.4, and we are just going to do a print command. All right, and let's see what this does. So here we have 6 because math.ceil is the ceiling function. So it rounds up all the time. So 5.4 rounded up goes to 6. Now what you would be able to do, in case you don't want to write math all the time, is you could just do as m. And then what you would be able to do is you would be able to do m here, and you would be able to run it. Now you could also do it this way, which would be m equals math, but that just is an extra line. It's always better to just do the math as m, or you can just keep it as math, which is a little bit more readable if someone else is reading your code. So that's really how you import modules that you have downloaded from Python. Now, what happens if we want to go ahead and we want to import pygame? Now let's go ahead and let's just take away this math import here. And then let's do pygame.init. You guys don't have to worry about pygame.init. It is just a function to initialize pygame. But if we try to run this here, we will actually get the error message, module not found, no module named pygame. So a way to fix that is in your terminal, you can actually do this directly from VS Code. You could just do a pip -- version, and this will just make sure that your pip is installed, which you should have it installed when you installed Python in that first video that we did together. So here we can see we have pip, we have version 21.1.3. So now what we can do is we can do pip install pygame and just hit enter. And now we're going ahead and it's just, so here we have successfully installed pygame 2.0.1. So now if we actually run this code here, we will get hello from the pygame community, and then we get like the pygame website and everything related to pygame. So we know that the module has actually imported. And you can do, if you don't know the commands for pip, you can actually do, let me just clear the terminal here. If you just do pip, you will actually get all the different types of functions that you can use. So you can list the installed packages. You can install packages, download packages, uninstall them. So you could do a lot of different things here. And then if you ever wanted to find modules, of course, you could just look them up online. There's tons of YouTube videos that also give you different Python modules, but I'm pretty sure if you just Google Python modules, you should find a whole bunch of them here. And then if we just go into the P here, so this won't have all of them, but it does have all the, I think these might be the built-in modules from Python. But if you just do a Google search for Python modules, you can definitely find a whole bunch. Now, you might be wondering, how can I make my own modules to get functions? Now, if you're ever making a big, big game with pygame, or if you're making a big application that requires like a lot of scripts, and you just don't want to always rewrite these functions, and you just don't want a super big file, or let's say you're planning on writing multiple different applications, but you know that they're going to be sharing some functions. So a good way to do that is to actually create a module. Now, I'm in this folder here, so if I actually open this up and just zoom in for you guys here, so if I go in my documents here, programming, and then I go into Python here in my tutorials. So I've actually have this tutorial 17 modules here, and I just have the tutorial 17.py file in here. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to create a module. We're going to put it in the same root location as our script. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to add a file, and we are just going to call this custom module.py. Now, I did use camel casing here, so that will be important to note. So let me just actually zoom out here. So I did create this custom module here with the uppercase M. So make sure that if you do uppercases or lower cases, Python is case sensitive, so that will matter. So let's go ahead and let's just create some functions here. I'm going to put a link in the description below to my video about functions in case you guys haven't seen that yet. So let's just define here a function, and we're just going to go super classy here. We're going to do hello world, and all we are going to do is we are going to do a print hello world for this one, and we're going to create another function called get name, and we are going to do um, name equals input, and we're just going to put the prompt, what is your name? And then we're going to do a return name here, and then let's do a print name, and this is going to take in a name, and we are going to do a print. Perfect. So we have three functions here. We have one function that just does not take in any parameters, simply prints. We have another function that does not take in any parameters, but it actually it will ask you a question and then will return you that value. And then we have another function here, that print name, where we have to pass it a parameter and it will simply just print out the name. So let's save this module here. And when we go back into our tutorial 17, we're going to do import custom module as CM. And then if we do CM dot, we have here get name, hello world, and print name. So it's actually already discovered all the functions that we have here. So let's go ahead and let's do that. So let's do a hello world, and let's see what happens. And I believe that I actually need this here. Yes, so there it is. So we have our output of hello world. Now let's do our cm dot get name. And what we're going to do here is we're going to set this to player name equals cm.getName. And then we are going to do cm.printName player name. All right, so let's see what this looks like. All right, so it is prompting us for our name here. Let me just bring this up a little bit for you guys. All right, so let's type in my name here. So we're just going to put Richard in here, and we get the name printed out. So as you can see, we didn't do a print player name, we just did a print name, which actually calls our module here. Now, modules are usually recommended to have a bunch of functions that are related. So if you have, kind of like similar to the math function, if you have a specific module that deals with, let's say, all your player information for your game, it would all go into one module. And then maybe if you had another module that was all related to like levels, you would have another one for that, or another one related to like any like physics, um, anything like that. So that's what those modules are really for, is to really kind of organize your code in just a nicer little area and give them nice names, not custom module. So you can actually know what they do. Like if you had a physics module, maybe call it my physics, or just physics if you wanted, or PyPhysics. Those are all different name ideas that you could use, as long as you know what they mean and as long as they're somewhat descriptive, so other people, if they are reading your code, they can kind of get what's going on, then that is perfect. So that's pretty much it for importing and creating your own modules. So we went over importing modules that already exist with Python, which was the math module. And then we also installed a module from the internet called pygame, and we used that as well. And then we went ahead and we created our own custom module and imported it. As long as it's in the same root directory as your script file, you should not have a problem. So that's it for today. In the next video here, we will be going over a try except statement for some error handling. So be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified when that next video comes out, and I will see you on the next video.